is, running it down on these niggas.
Sex, drugs, money, and murder, my nigga. You know how we get it, my nigga. Still be painting them pictures, my nigga. Ripping that rolls and fucking your bitches. Sex, drugs, money, and murder. 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 Niggas, they never gon' hurt you. Niggas will never will hurt you. Sex, drugs, money, and murder. Sex, drugs, money, and murder.
How the traps right, understand how to get that. Ran down on them niggas with a flip back. Knew I never seen another nigga live like that. I was still getting stacks back. Had to fuck around getting them packs back. Niggas.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Bulletz Gotti. You know, before we start this video, I want y'all to do is smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and make sure y'all hit that notification bell. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and smash the like button. It's your boy Bulletz Gotti. It's the Bulletz Gotti Show. Salute. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Bulletz Gotti. You know, I've been on YouTube, and I just been looking at the whole trajectory of YouTube right now. And YouTube, black YouTube, has a lot of haters. But YouTube in general, and just the environment, the black community, it just shows you that we as black people, we love chaos, man. Us as melanated people, we love chaos. We love hating, and we love putting down people. Let me just say this, right? I'm looking at a lot of the stuff that's going on where you got dudes that's trying to expose other black men, and it's like, yo, y'all dudes, some of these dudes be in their 40s and 50s, and they mad about what a nigga ain't do for them. You know, you got dudes that hate on other brothers that's trying to do something and will down another brother to try to shoot them down because they got more subscribers, and they'll put them down and hate on them instead of uplifting and working together and try to put another brother on to the money. This is the thing that I don't understand about us as people, right? We talk about racism, we talk about all of this, but what I've seen is that black people don't want no change. We're not about togetherness. We're only about togetherness when it's how you say, it's for a certain purpose. Like if it's about racism, we'll get on cold. But if it's about bettering the black community or bettering our people, we don't want to do that. We'll rather throw our own people under the bus, and then we'll start talking about, oh, we need to stand together against these people that's doing us wrong, the oppressor. Let me tell you something, right? The victimhood mentality that the black community has is reprehensible. It's reprehensible. It's terrible. It's misguiding because we're misguiding the youth. And it's a damn shame because you have a lot of these men and women that sit on these platforms, and instead of them trying to help, they're part of the problem. And if you watch a lot of these dudes' platforms, a lot of these women and these men be part of the problem in our community. Like I told you in the last video about the whole Carrie Lee Russell situation. That right there is a sad situation. That young lady need help. But there's women out there in our community that pushed that type of mentality where you do stupid shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Lie. Like she could have lied and said a dude, her boyfriend, sexually assaulted her or abused her. A lot of the women in our community have an issue of lying. Just look at Jaguar Wright. Look at that. That's a train wreck right there. But we support train wrecks like that. Look at this dude, Jamil Peterson. You know, basically clout chasing and using Kim Porter's death. Kim Porter has children. Instead of this man, you know, do something else with his content, all the hating on Hassan Campbell, this man goes and do content on Puffy and has a woman posing as Kim Porter's sister. You You know, the mentality of our people is basically tear down each other and get a bag by any means necessary. It's not about telling the truth. It's not speaking no realism. It's just about, I'm going to fake it till to make it to get on here, and I'm going to throw people under the bus and make up lies and do all type of shit because we chaotic people. We're traumatizing people. You know, look at the black community for existence, right? You have a community, right, that has violence at an all-time high. The violence is coming from the young, right? And we have people that's cheering on Young Thug, right? Free Young Thug and all that, right? And free YMW Melly, right? These is dudes that basically didn't care about the success they had. They'd rather throw that down the toilet and get into nigga shit, right? Sad, but this is what they got into. We promote the nigga shit. We love nigga shit. And this is why the youth perpetuates nigga shit. You know, this is why we have black women that loves being harlots and whores. And they will get offended and get mad when you have a person like a Bill Cosby that speaks against how the community is, and they'll throw him under the bus, right? I'm gonna be doing a video about Dr. Cosby, but look at what the community did to Dr. Cosby. You had black women that lied because they were so fucked up with their lives and no income was coming in. So they found, let me jump on the Bill Cosby hate train so I can get some of this money. Whether it's true or it's a lie, I'm going to lie on this man. And they lied on that man. The Beverly Johnsons, all these women, right? Because you have to understand something about black people is that we're all motivated by the wrong things. We'll rather tear down our own. We'll never get nothing right in our community. That's why I feel, why save people that don't want to save themselves? Black people don't want to save themselves. They don't want to hear the truth. And I don't feel like anybody should be trying to save a community that don't want to save themselves from the wrong shit. They love being in poverty. They love the violence. They love the nigga shit. They love all of the wrong things. They don't like the right things. They love the wrong things. The wrong things, it excites our community. That's why they love the gang culture. That's why they love the street culture. That's why black women love the prostitution whore culture. You have black women on here that's selling themselves out to be prostitutes for white men. This is what they're promoting. You have women like Tasha K. All she do is slanderize her own people just for money and fame. But people support that. People support that. You know, it's not about us having our third eye open and waking our people up to the right things. We love the wrong things. This is why they say our community is full of the laughing stock. It's why we at the bottom and we're the laughing stock of America, is because just look at what we do. You know, you can't 1 minute say that racism and all this stuff is bothering you and how you being segregated against, and then you have other groups of people that are coming here that doesn't feel the same way, that's becoming successful, and they're not caught up in this illusion of the social construct of America. America's a business. Okay, it's never been a country. It's never been a democracy. It's a business, and it's all about obtaining the American dream. If you don't have ownership in this country, you'll never be respected as a first-class citizen. You will always be painted as a second-class citizen. Just off of the backs of you saying that you're black is really an idiotic statement. Because black means deaf if you read the Law Dictionary. It doesn't even mean a live person. It means deaf. You know, when we all know that we're brown, when we all know that we're people, that we're brown, melanated, indigenous people, but we all caught up in the semantics of we're black. I watch a lot of platforms. I watch the relationship platforms. I watch all the platforms on YouTube, the conscious community, and nobody seems to have a solution. Nobody seems to have a message. They all come with the same thing. Why the conscious community died? It's because when you have guys keep asking for money, 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 and they're not fixing any solutions, they're not bettering the community, they're not telling the young men, put the guns down or coming in the community, they're not doing any of that. They're just feeding you a bunch of nonsense to feed their pockets. Just like these bloggers, these entertainment bloggers, these celebrity gossip, whatever they want to, they want to be truth tellers, but they're celebrity gossipers, and they only doing it for money and fame. They're not doing it to better their community or themselves or their people. It's all about money and fame. You know what I'm saying? And they're not a true messenger. You know, Tasha K is the worst thing to happen to black people and the black women. Her, Cynthia G, Prince Celica, all these women, Nala says, they are the worst of the worst that has happened to black people and the black women, and really, it's sad. But this is what people look at as their spokespeople. Okay? Now, look at the thing with, let's keep it real, right? Look at the thing with the rappers today. The rappers today, it's all about drugs and women being prostitutes. You know, people was mad with what Tory Lanez's father was saying, but everything Tory Lanez's father was saying was absolutely the truth. You know, the black community is being is lambasted by a hate hierarchy. Everybody is selling themselves out for the bag. They don't care about their community. They don't care about nothing but the bag. That's all the black people has always been about, the bag. And there's nothing wrong about being about for self. But it's supposed to be about building and obtaining your community and doing the right things. If you look at the black community, what is it for? Drugs, violence, baby mamas, all of that. That's just and it's sad that the community hasn't changed since the crack era. Hasn't changed. The youth, it's a revolving door. The cycle repeats with the youth, if you really look at it. And it's sad that you have grown men and grown women can't get themselves right. All they doing is arguing and fussing and fighting about what? About what? The black people is a losing cause, man. Everything is an excuse. Everything is mental. The white man told you mentally ill. You just gonna ramble and say, "Oh, I'm mentally ill," because you love being the victim. We love being the victim. Poverty is not the reason for the problem in the black community. The reason for the problem in the black community is there's more followers than leaders. The black community is full of followers. There's no leaders in the black community. They're a losing hope because there are more followers in our community than there is leaders. So when you have a lot of followers, what do you expect? They tell you Black Lives Matter. They tell you, oh, let's follow this, follow that. But nobody's told you to be a leader of your own destiny. Just being honest. You know, like when I watch, like people was doing, like a lot of black YouTubers was doing videos on Fresh and Fit. And I understood where everybody was coming from, right? But I don't see, I think what they did to Fresh and Fit was wrong. And they're only targeting black YouTubers with the demonetization. If you're a melanated YouTuber, they're targeting our platforms more than they target others. Just look at it. Our platforms get demonetized. I got demonetized. Many others have been demonetized. That's like targeting black YouTubers because you have to look. Melanated people have brought the most income to YouTube. This is a fact. This is a fact. What happened to Fresh and Fit can happen to any YouTuber. You know? And you don't have to like Fresh and Fit. You don't have to like Fresh and Myron. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to agree with what they're saying. But a lot of their talking points is understandable. You know, because I could understand them being that I've had the best of both worlds. So I understand the urban society and I understand the white society too. So I understand a kid because I went to school. I went to urban school, and I went to a school where you may be the only black kid in the class, right? So the environment is different. And you could tell that they weren't raised in an urban environment. They were raised in an environment where it's a diverse environment. So they may have went to school with whites, Asians, Middle Easterns, which I did too. And the girls that they attract weren't melanated women because they weren't what you call the prototype for those women. The prototype for the women in our community, sad to say, is the hood dudes. Is the dudes that is considered the warrior class tough dudes. You know what I'm saying? The dudes that either went to prison or was an athlete or a musician, or he was just so tough and he was a gang affiliated or whatever, sold drugs, whatever. Those are the prototype of the dudes that chicks in the community have time for. Now, a chick won't look at a Myron, won't give him the time of the day, or Fresh. And that's sad because a lot of the women in our community talk about, I'm gonna go get me a white guy. I'm gonna go get me a white guy. You know, but white guys don't prep. It's always been a fetish with a white guy and a black woman, right? Because a white guy looks at a black woman as a fetish, okay? It's never been like it was a relationship that he loved her and he fetishized her. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the slave masters did. They fetishized black women. So when you see black women marrying a white guy and all that, it don't look realistic because it's not. You know, it's very rare you have an interracial couple with a black woman and a white man. It's very rare. Majority of the women in our community always stayed in their community. Black men, we have done that because you have to understand, black men were in the military. So from World War I to World War II to the Korean War to Vietnam War, you know, to all the wars, they have met women overseas, being in Germany, the UK, wherever. They have met Caucasian women or just women of different ethnicities, right? And they started relationships with them. This is why when you go overseas, you see a lot of the women, and the women over there will tell you, my father's a black American soldier that came over here, met my mother, and had me. Okay? If you go overseas, you know, and that's how it always been. You know, so it never makes sense to me to have women to say that I'm gonna date out and the man don't respect you. You know, you're looked at as a prostitute than as his woman, you know. And that's the thing that I think a lot of the women in the community don't understand. You know, they're delusional to think that they're going to be treated as this high esteem. And that's not true. You know, but hey, it is what it is. You know, this is why I say that the black community is a losing hope. You know, it's a losing hope. the hate that Fresh and Fit got was unnecessary. You know, you don't understand, if you don't understand somebody's preference and you don't understand what they went through, you can't fault them for saying what they're saying. Because a lot of times you could look, they were probably rejected when they were teenagers by these same women that, you know, be talking to dudes any type of way. So that they got to a social ladder and they're dealing with a different type of clientele of women, and they're dating pool, and they're, you know, they took care of their body, took care of their self, and self-improved themselves, and they elevated in life. You know, you understand that their rise and why they feel the way they feel. You know what I'm saying? You can't fault somebody for saying what they're saying about black women, or just is what it is. I mean, I don't have a disagreement with, you know, I don't have a disagreement with how they feel. You know, yeah, some of the things that they say and do, it can be off the wall, but it's understandable because you have to understand somebody's story. And a lot of people that have not was raised in the urban environment in the cities, they're not going to understand, you know, all that shit that people be talking about because they're not coming from that perspective. They're coming from work hard, go to school, get a good job, dedicate yourself, and obtain an American dream. That's their mindset. You know what I'm saying? In the urban environments and in the inner city communities, the mindset is the white man holding me down. This and that. You know what I'm saying? And really and truly, you have to look, you know, it was a violent time. Like, we have killed more, but like they would say, black people have been killed by the police more, which that's not true. Statistics show that. We have got more, we've been killed more by our own people than by the police or by a white person. You know, black on black violence is a high, you know, whether we want to say black on black violence, whatever we want to say it is. But the violence towards melanated people is an issue. Whether it's in Chicago, whether it's in New York, whether it's in Philly, whether it's in DC, it's a problem. You have a losing cause of people and a losing hope of people that's so caught up on the victimization and the victimhood that you can't understand how to elevate to a certain level. Just look at this, right? I can't get mad with an immigrant, right? I can't get mad at a Mexican or African or none of that. I can't get mad at those people, right? You know why? Because I understand that they sacrifice a lot to get here. And they appreciate the things that we don't appreciate. They will take a bullshit job and you have that job to push them through school and then go through college, become successful, and own businesses, become doctors, lawyers, and all type of things. But they had the initiative to take time to sacrifice. Well, we'll just take the easy way out and just go grab a pack or pick up a pistol and want to do the wrong shit. And then complain about us getting caught or complain about the system holding me back. No, the system didn't hold you back. You gotta understand. People went from a time where you had people that were prideful, that their pride didn't hold them, that they were sharecroppers. People that didn't have a education, didn't have an 8th grade or 3rd grade or 4th grade education, but was able to do phenomenal things. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I say that us as a people, we so caught up on the BS that it's always a blame game, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watch YouTube and I see black men come on here and down another man for their success. It don't make no sense. We are messy people. And the more messy we are as a people, the more we're not going to ever elevate as a people. You know, people talk about the black manosphere, they talk about communities like that, but you have to understand the conversations that, you know, the Anton Daniels and the Fresh and Fits and all these platforms having. It's conversations that the communities need to have. Because you have a community that really is lost. Because they don't have the mindset of being their own leaders or the captain of their own ship and their own destiny. That they're so convinced that the world owes them something. It's not about the world owing you anything. It's about doing for self. You know, people don't understand, like, you can't force the horse to, you could lead the horse to the water, but you can't force him to drink it. You can lead somebody to the money, but you can't force them to think rich. And that's the problem. We haven't succeeded in this country and we want all this and all that. You have to understand, this country is not going to give you what you want. Because what people got to understand is, you have a group of people that don't know who they are. That continue to keep saying that they're Black American. That continue to keep saying that they're African American. When there's no such thing as an African or an American. When there's no such thing as black. They're crying about reparations, but they're not telling you that it's not about the reparations, it's about the human rights. If you're not about the human rights, why is you screaming about reparations? That's what people got to understand. Reparations is cool, but what about my human rights? My land was stolen, you know? And we're not going to get to the bottom of anything. I always say, man, like when I hear people say what the rappers and the entertainers, athletes and rappers in our community, I don't hold them to trying to save the community because it's not their job to do that. I think a lot of people have this misconstrued that why should people help a community that's not appreciative? You got to remember something, right? In the black community, you will kill your own. You will lie on your own. You will do all type of shitty shit. Tupac Shakur is a perfect example of a man that stood for his community, loved his community, wanted the best for his community. But his community turned his in Quad Studios, you know, and shot 5 times. A black woman lying on him saying that he sexually assaulted her when he didn't. You know what I'm saying? The same community that his mother worked hard to defend. And what did the community do? Turn their back on him. Made him look like he was a crazed individual when he wasn't. The black community is fickle. They'll turn their back on you. They want you to do this and do that for them, but they don't want to do nothing back for you. I always go back to what John F. Kennedy said. It's not what your country can do for you, it's what you can do for your country. And the thing is that in our community, we have a victim mentality, we have a leeching mentality, we have just a lame mentality to put down others. We never want to see others grow. We rather be the culprits of somebody's demise. They use you as puppets. And then after they use you as puppets, they throw you to the wolves. So when you put somebody else down and you lie and you said this person did that and did like how they did with R. Kelly and Bill Cosby, where they lied on these people, right? And you have pundits that have platforms like Tasha K and many others that have platforms that are pundits that'll throw their own people under the bus just for a check, just for fame and notoriety. Say I was the one that did this to you, knowing that those same people that gave you that check to do that, that put that battery in your back, is the same one that's gonna throw you out to the wolves. You know, when people, one thing I loved about Kevin Samuels, He wasn't a messy man. And people hated that man for speaking the complete truth about the community, right? And what did they do? They lied on him. They slandered him. They attacked him. They said all type of things. Called the man gay. All the things that they said about this man, right? And all this man wanted was to build the family structure back, to get the community back. But you can't save a community that don't want to be saved. It's plain and simple. You can't save a black community that don't want to be saved. This is a community that's full of people that loves to be losers. You're dealing with a loser mentality. This is why you have failed rappers that come on platforms and shit on other black men. Other men with platforms and say, oh, this dude, he did me grimy, so I'm going to air him out. Why? Why would you air somebody out? Yeah, he might have cut you off because you might have been lazy. And because you're so lazy, that man cut you off. But because you upset that man cut you off and he's not rocking with you because you're not motivating him. And you're just there just to grab his attention and just to leech off of his success. You want to call him a ain't shit or bad person. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with somebody that's upset with an individual they fall out with. That's you know, people, that's understandable. But when you have people that just have a grievance, just want to come like a Jaguar, right? Or like that TA dude or whoever that just want to come out the woodwork and just say any and everything, like Steve Harvey, wife Marjorie, ex-husband, just want to come and say anything because you bitter. Like, I don't respect people like that. I don't respect bitter people. I don't respect people leeching. You know what I'm saying? Because if you leeching and you mooching off of somebody, you got to get called out off of that. You got to get called out off of lying and deceiving. Let's look at a Keefy D. Dude lying and all that, and now he going back to jail because he's a liar. Those type of people should not be respected. Anybody like a Jaguar, right, should not be respected. She should not be respected. Those are dangerous people. Those are pieces of shit. Those are ain't shit people. People gotta understand, the black communities are losing cause. You can't save a people that are just people that's not about anything but just destruction and downfalls. It's destruction. Everything is demonic with people in the community. Everything, the backbiting, the slandering, the hateful anger, the hateful everything. It's just a bunch of that going on in the black community, and you wonder why we can't develop to go to the next level, because you have so much people that are rather criticize and hurt their own than to uplift and build their own. You know what I'm saying? We're in a country that basically did a great number on the people. But you have to understand something. You can't blame the white man on nobody, because just look, right? I always say this. I always go back. I look at the Asian community, I look at the Hispanic community, and I look at the Italian community and whatever communities, right? And I see that in those communities, why they're so organized and they come together the way they do in a vast majority, is because they're not like our community. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got a business, a Latin community, why the Latin community is a successful community, and why they want to branch away from the melanated black community is because the opportunities they getting is because the hard work. They hard workers. They obtain the American dream. If you go in any urban inner city communities, why they own all the businesses is because they deal with the intellect. They're about success. They tell their kids, go to school. Their kids are becoming lawyers, doctors, police. They doing what the Italian community did. They're doing what the Irish community did. That's what they're doing. What the black community failed to realize is you want your kids to be athletes and rappers and entertainers and gossipers. You want your daughters to be strippers and gossipers on the internet and doing makeup and all that and not even thinking about something successful. Black women will say, oh, we're the most successful. But you could be the most successful. But what are you teaching your daughters? What are you teaching your sons? Why is your children going back and is having children, having babies? Why is there no structure with your sons? Why is we making excuses for bad behavior? There should be no excuses. Like the shit with Jordan Neely. They made all type of excuses. Oh, his mother, he lost his mother. But the dude had 47 prior arrests. And he was on the run for an assault on an elderly woman and robbed her. We make excuses for these people because, oh, they going through mental illness. No, it's not. We have a choice. Choices. It's not mental illness. You have a choice not to pick up that bottle. You have a choice not to pick up them drugs. You made the choices to pick up the drugs and pick up the bottle. So you got to deal with the consequences. Everything is not about race. Everything is not, it's apples and oranges. People just want to live in delusion. And being delusional in the black community is okay. We ignore the problem and we want to always go after one problem. You can't go after attacking America when you have a problem in our community. You know, you have a problem in our community. You have a problem with our community because just look at what's going on. Just look at what's going on with the youth. Look at what's going on with everything. Religion. We don't got religion in our community. We just don't have anything. We don't have no discipline. So when you don't have no discipline, you just have utter despair. You know? Like, I don't get into the whole Candace Owens thing because she's a fraud. I don't listen to her. Because I look at her as she's a part of the problem because you was a Black Lives Matter supporter. So how can I take what you saying seriously? At least with Larry Elder, understand he's always been a staunch conservative. Always been a supporter of Larry Elder, right? But people got to understand, the black community used to have a conservative value about ourselves. But we allowed the liberal mindset and all the other bullshit to corrupt us to destroy our community. And a lot of y'all, the black women want to be white feminists with their mindset. They don't know who they are. They have a self-hate issue. That's why they want to look like the white woman, want to talk like the white woman, want to, you know, they just want to be a part of that society. They hate themselves. Then you got the lost black men in the community. They still man-child in the promised land. You know, they still stuck in their second childhood being men-childs. So all these men out here are man-childs. They all stuck in their second childhood. The women is stuck in their second childhood. But they just got a self-hate and a whole lot of insecurities and a whole lot of bullshit with them. So the moral of the story is you have a lost, confused, despair, destroyed, chaotic community that cannot be saved. You cannot save a community that don't want to be saved. They don't want to be saved. They love being lost. They love being lost in despair. They love being lost in the fuckery. They don't understand the balance of let's do right by our children. Let's change our ways. They don't understand that shit. They don't. You know, all the shit that's going on with the pro-black shit and all the drama, it don't make no sense, man. black woman online fighting and all that. Everybody want to fight and all that. You see why they look at us the way they look at us, and all these groups look at us as aggressors the way they do, is because look at how we act. Everything, our quickest emotion is to resort to violence. It's not to solutions. To our own people, we resort with violence. We don't resort to a conversation. People watch what they see. They look at it. Why we have the stereotypicals, because the stereotypes, because what they see in the depictions of these movies. These same movies that we love, these hood movies, it's a depiction of how America thinks of us. The depiction of these hood movies. So if they watching a hood movie just like we watching a hood movie and we celebrating it, they think our communities is like that. They think the people that come out of them, and you have people that keep trying to make excuses that the hood is full of people that just join gangs and all to the dumb shit. They don't tell you that it's doctors and lawyers and all type of stuff that come out of that same community. But we made that excuse. And this is why the community's the way it is. You know? One thing I respect that Trump said, man, what do we have to lose? People get mad with Trump and the Giulianis in the world, but let's just keep it real. Trump spoke facts. When Giuliani was mayor, he didn't do anything wrong. What he did was he went after the community that had the most crime at the time. And the community that had the most crime at the time during when he was mayor was the inner city communities with the drugs and the murders and the violence. So he cleaned up the city to make it safe for the merchants, the cab drivers and all that, so they wasn't getting shot in the head and all that. You got to understand something, man. You have to have law and order. The black community don't want no law and order. They don't want discipline. They don't want nothing because, like I said, they love chaos. You're dealing with a community that loves chaos. That's chaotic people. When you're dealing with a community that's chaotic, they're all going to agree with chaotic shit. Michael Brown, a perfect example. He beats up the store clerk. He steals the cigarette, the cigars. Nobody talks about why was he doing that and roughing up the clerk. That's why the man called the police. You have to understand something, man. The police is there to protect the businesses and to protect the citizens that pay taxes, that really pay taxes. When people say they pay taxes, you don't pay no taxes. You don't own nothing. You pay rent. So you can't tell a police officer you a public servant when you don't even pay the damn rent. You don't even pay your damn rent. You pay rent. You don't own no homes. You don't own nothing. What are you talking about? The police job is to protect the homeowners and the business owners. That's it. And that's what America's always been about. The homeowners, the business owners. The people that have ownership is the ones that matter. The people that don't have ownership are not the ones that matter. And that's what the black community don't understand. And that's what they would never understand. But hey, it is what it is, man. It's Bulletz Gotti, man. This video, please make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Make sure we get into the algorithm. Like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. And hit the notification bell. It's your boy, Bulletz Gotti. Bulletz Gotti Show. 2 Clean.